Do you want to know how to get kids to stop throwing food? That is an annoying behavior and it makes a mess. I'm Nicholeen Peck and I teach parenting and good communication, how to build strong family bonds, and child development and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. In this video, we're talking about throwing food. Who doesn't like a good food fight? Well, that's fun when it's the right time, the right place, the right people, and you don't have to eat the food afterward or clean it up, right? But there are young children usually who throw food. Now, I do know that sometimes older children throw food, but the principles are the same for younger children or older children. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing primarily on younger children, probably more toddler-age children are the ones who historically throw their food. In this video, we're going to talk about why they throw their food and what you can do to help them choose not to throw their food. You heard me right, they can choose not to throw their food. Sometimes it looks like they're just getting crazy in the high chair or in the booster seat or at the table, and that maybe there's no thought process going on at all at that moment, and that's why the food is flying. But they actually can choose to tell themselves, no, stop doing that. I'm not going to throw my food. This is a self-government channel. The name of this channel is Teaching Self-Government. That's what I'm known for. The principle of self-government means this: being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. That's two things. You understand cause and effect, and you understand yourself. This means that you can analyze yourself. Now, can young children, even toddlers, babies throwing food, actually analyze themselves and tell themselves to stop doing something? Oh yes, they absolutely can. But they don't always. Why is that? Why are they throwing that food in the first place? Well, sometimes they think it's funny. And they want to get attention because maybe siblings have laughed, maybe even the parents have laughed a little bit. Maybe they just want to control as well. Did you know that toddlers are controlling? I'm pretty sure you've figured that out by now. They want to see how much power they have over their environment. Can they be in control of the people around them? You see, we play games with them that give them the idea that they actually can be in control of us. These are good games, they're good for development, but they are a little bit counterproductive because they also teach the child to try to control us. But that's step number one in them learning that they can then also control themselves. So what are some of those games? Games like peekaboo, games like so big, games like pat a cake. We do them, we mimic, we want them to mimic after us, right? These type of games teach our children that they can control us because they'll start going like this and then we'll do it with them. They say a word, they sing a little song, we sing it with them. They start playing peekaboo, we start playing peekaboo with them. They do an action, we say a word. This puts them in control. It helps them to be able to communicate at a time when oftentimes they don't have the right words to say. So when you're trying to get them to eat their peas or their squash and they just really don't want to, what are they going to do? At first they stick out their tongue, they tighten their mouth, but then they realize they still have to sit there and that you're going to wiggle around that tongue. You're going to get that food in there because you know without food they die and they need certain vitamins. They don't understand that, but you do. So you're willing to work for every single bite that that child takes. And you tell yourself, it's okay. They need this. I'm okay doing this. But they're telling themselves, I don't want this. This is more work. I don't like this. I'm done. They don't know how to communicate with you very well. They may not have all of the words to say, and so they just start getting rid of the problem. Technically, when they're throwing food, when they don't want to eat their food, it's because they're actually problem solving. I hope that helps you look at it in a little bit new light. They feel like they have a problem facing them. It's called food that they don't want to eat. They either don't want to take the time or they don't like the flavor of it. And so they're getting rid of their problem. So what do we do to help them want to eat their food and not consider the food to be such a problem? Well, if you've already subscribed to this channel, then you know I talk a lot about skills. So how do we proactively prepare that small child or that toddler to have a skill where they will actually eat their food when they are supposed to eat their food? And is it even possible? The answer is yes. So both of these skills, accepting no answers and following instructions, are going to be helpful with dealing with food issues with children. So first off, when a child is tempted to throw food, what is that? That's a no answer. There are 4 steps in this book that teach how to accept a no answer. And I talk about them all over this channel too. So you can find more information on those. But they need to know that's a no answer to throw food. And if they don't accept that no answer, I'm going to correct it too. Now I calmly correct it, and I do it with my teaching self-government skills for how to do an effective correction. That's another skill that I teach for parents. So this book here teaches following instructions. So then what do? Well, you have to instruct the child to actually eat the food. Okay? So they have to start eating the food and find out that it's okay to eat that food. Otherwise, the throwing and the controlling is going to continue to happen. What we have to do is sometimes cross over that minefield of trying food after food after food and having them not like it, and us going, I'm giving you an instruction. You need to take 5 bites of this and then you can be done with it. Or I'm going to give you an instruction. We need to eat half of this and then you can be done with it. And so you're going to have to tell them, this is the instruction. This is what you need to do. We have to sit here until we do that, right? Or if we don't follow the instruction, then if they're a toddler, they might go completely out of control, which then would mean we would use some of our intensive teaching skills that I teach in my training. But if they are a little bit older, then we'd probably just do a correction and we would have them earn an extra chore, which I talk about why I use extra chores and the most effective way to use that also here on this channel or in my full training at teachingselfgovernment.com. So let's say you have a child who's throwing food. Here's the steps to getting them to stop throwing food. Step number 1, teach them the skill accepting no answers and teach them the skill following instructions. Step number 2, teach them the skill for correcting negative behaviors. That's right. We teach our children our parent skills. We tell them this is how we will do this every single time. Now, even if they're toddlers and they can't fully speak to you, you can still tell them what you will do every single time. You can even role play practice it with another child, show them how it will happen. If the child is a toddler and you try to role play it with them, they'll think it's really happening. So like if they're, I would say maybe 2, you know, you don't want to be role-playing. 3 is that iffy zone. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. Usually by the time they hit age 4, they can role-play. So then that would be at a time where you could, you know, say, let's practice how we will do it. Okay, this isn't for real. And they can put that together at about age 4. So pre-teach their skills. Pre-teach your skills. Here we are at dinner time, or we're going to be at a restaurant or something like that. Before the child gets any food, we pre-teach the child. We say, remember that throwing food is a no answer. If you throw food, then you won't be accepting no answers. And then I will need to do a correction. And this is how we'll handle it at this restaurant, or this is how we'll handle it at our house. And the child will get corrected and get the opportunity to earn a little extra chore, or they might even need to have a calm down spot or something like that that's part of an intensive teaching. So then you say, but if you do choose to accept the no answer and you keep all of your food on the table, then there's going to be a positive afterward. So for a little while, have some positive so that they know, okay, I'm going to keep it on the table because I'm going to have a positive afterward. Usually small children respond really well to that. In the moment, you give instruction. Okay, we're going to take 10 bites of this. Or, you know, if they seem like they don't like it, say, I know that you don't like this that much, but we're going to take 5 bites of this just to try it this time. And the next time we have it, we'll have 6 bites, you know, so that you can build up their ability to endure the taste, right? So anyway, you give instruction, have them follow through, praise them for all of those things that they are doing. But if they start throwing food, don't grab, don't whatever, don't go into panic, because then they'll know they're power struggling with you and that they have control. So you just look at them and say, you're throwing food. That's a no answer. You're not accepting a no answer. So now we need to go to our calm down spot. Or I'm going to do a correction right now. And then you do the correction. If they earn an extra chore, they would do it after the mealtime. And then remind them, now we're not going to be able to have the positive thing that we were going to have. So that's another thing. And even if they can't talk to you back on everything, you might get them to be able to say okay to you, or whatever words that they can say. Maybe even sign language words, but they know what you're saying, especially if you keep the words simple. Then at that point, you're going to just follow through. And then after you're done, just so that it didn't work to have the tantrum throwing the food, come back to the table and have them have those bites. They've got to follow through on that. You've got to tell them, we're going to do our 5 bites. They have to follow through. It's like training a horse when you have a toddler. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And they need to see consistency, consistency, consistency. By the way, that's actually how training everyone is, but it feels especially like training a horse when you're working with a toddler. There are so many more things that I could teach you, but especially I would love to point your attention toward calmness. Your calmness is key. You need the skills for success so that you can self-govern you, so that you don't end up blowing up at your children. There is a whole class that I have on this channel. It's a full class called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. That class would be the very best class for you to go to next to help you with your own self-government so that you can handle those no answers that they're giving you when they start throwing that food a little bit better, and that you'll have the skills that you need. So click on the link to The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success now. I'll see you there.